let's talk about the elephant in the room. And no, not this elephant, but there are some people out there that believes the only way to take your business serious is if that's the only thing that you're focused on, which meaning if you have a day job while doing your business, there's no real way for you to be taking that business serious. And I have to say, unfortunately for me, but fortunate for you, I've actually tried it both ways. And if you watch the entire video, you'll maybe figure out if you should have a day job or maybe you should quit. And also, apparently, if you like this video and subscribe to the channel, it helps. And also, I'd appreciate it. But without further ado, let's get into it. Okay, so let's just be real here. As much as we all don't want to do our day job, we do understand that businesses are very risky and they are very costly. And financially, it just wouldn't be smart for you to go all in with your business, because we all know that the business doesn't initially make money. So you do need something making money if you do not have rich parents or people that's just going to hand you money, or angel investors or investors, period. So having a day job does fill those voids. It makes it to where you have the financial stability within your company and also your living expenses. So let's start off there, because I do understand there are a lot of people that's probably going to be like, yeah, quit the day job and focus on the business. But if you have no money to do that, then that's pretty reckless. And with everything you do, there's pros and cons. So keeping your day job while trying to run your business, of course, there are cons and of course there are pros. But we're going to go over a few of those options in this video and see which ones fit you. So first and foremost, I want to talk about financial stability. When you first start your business, as I was saying before, it does not make money, and most people don't expect it to make money within the first 3 years of the business, which if you're not making money within the first 3 years, your living expenses are going to get kind of out of hand, and you're going to be living on credit card debt, and your business is going to be owned by a bunch of investors by the time you start to make money. So it's very smart that you keep your day job for financial stability. It pays for your living expenses and the few business expenses that you're going to need to pay for out of pocket, a lot of the times more than you would like to admit. Or you can go into a bunch of debt and it takes forever for you to get out, and the APR start to become very insane, and then it's just a headache. And on top of financial stability, it also gives you a peace of mind. So with that peace of mind, it also lets you focus on the next things with the business, because say you do a market strategy and the market strategy flops. It then doesn't make money, but not only does it not make money, but you spent money in order to get that thing to go. But because you now have your day job, you still get those consistent paychecks that you can now not have to stress so much. And I can tell you a little story of how I started my very first business, which I talk about this a lot in a lot of different videos, which I might link below, maybe not. But basically, I started my first business with $5,000 in credit card debt. And that wasn't a wise move, because I would say it like this. Let's say we started with $5,000. From the $5,000, I got the merchandise or the inventory, which the inventory cost us roughly around $1,000. So now we're down to $4,000 with the business credit card. We have $4,000, but hold on, scratch all of that. Let's rewind real quick, because I didn't tell you that I quit my job in order to start my first business, which it was not wise, and you're about to hear that in the rest of the story. So let's go back to where I was at. So we have the $4,000, but I'm also paying rent. And at the time, I used my place of living also as my office to conduct business, which cost $1,700. So subtract $1,700 from $4,000 and we're left with $2,300. And I must say to you, the level of stress that was going on in my head at the time is insane, which caused me not to sleep much and caused me to always stress if we were going to have the money to be able to pay for the living space, the business space, and much more. So we're left with $2,300 and the business still hasn't been launched yet. And I'm trying to think of ways to basically get more capital. And that's never what you want to be worried about when you're trying to get your business off the ground. $2,700 in business debt we finally decide, or we're forced to launch the business, we don't have initial money when starting this business, and we strictly ran the business off of business credit. So no, was it wise? Absolutely not. But I'm just telling you my story and the mistakes that I made. For people who are like, I just want to quit this job and start my business, it's probably smart to prepare or have 6 months or even a year worth of expenses, so you can at least give it a shot. If it don't work out, you can fall back at least a little bit smoother than I did, clearly. So not to make this about that brand, but brand launches, it flops, it does terrible, which we spend more money. I don't know the exact number because I don't remember it off the top of my head. I try to look for the information for this video, but unfortunately couldn't find it. But long story short, it flops. We get not evicted because we do have other support, but we did have to downsize, me and my business partner, to a different office and basically move our life around. Everything's back on track now, but from that one move, it really messed a lot of things up. So before you quit your day job and want to jump into your business, really think about the strategy that you want to take in order to take whatever business you're trying to do to where it's trying to go, and make sure it has a real life objective and not something of just, okay, I don't like my job so much, and as long as I justify it by saying I'm starting a business, then it makes it sound like it's a wise move. Depending on what you do for a living, that day job, whatever it is, if it's in something that actually means something, which most jobs you learn a little something regardless of what you're doing, but from my own personal experience, my actual day job teaches me a lot about all the things you would need to run a business. So it's almost like being paid to learn. And that's always a good way to go about it, especially when it's something that's actually needed within the business that you're starting. So you can't always look at a job like, oh, I just hate this job and I want to start my business, but also look at it like a learning tool, a tool to learn, just like school. And I wouldn't necessarily say school taught you a lot that's necessary, but it taught you the basics. And then you take the basics and you extend that education to different avenues, and then you use it to level yourself up. Having something that challenges you and put your mind to the test is also a good practice before you start your business, if you're even capable of doing that. Because let's be real, as a business owner, it doesn't get easier. Instead of you being the employee, you actually are the boss of the employee. So you have to still be able to think like an employee to please your own employees. So before jumping ship because you can't take your boss, understand there will be people that see you exactly how you see the boss. Because when you are the one sitting in the hot chair and the revenue isn't quite where it need to be, but you still have to pay all these people, you would start to understand and see it from the other point of view. This one I don't think a lot of people think about until they actually start their business, and when they're already in the works of it and they can't go back, or you can go back, but it would be a lot more difficult, is testing and reducing your risk. So basically, whenever you start a business, there will be a lot of times you have to take a lot of risky moves. Like I like to use the example because I started with $5,000. Say you have $5,000, but the opportunity that comes before you cost you $4,000. Are you willing to spend the $4,000 to possibly level up your business, or just lose the $4,000 altogether? If you have a day job, you are more inclined to take risk like that, because it's like, well, I know the next paycheck going to come next week or the week or bi-weekly, depending on how you get paid, or monthly, but you at least have the reassurance of knowing how much that check going to be, or roughly around how much you would make, depending on if your commission or your salary. Basically, with a job, it does reassure you of getting some kind of money, at least not in the week or month negative. And that's major, because it causes you to not do certain things that could possibly get your business to the next level. You would ignore the fact of, okay, I need to do this thing, but I'm too scared to do it because if it fails, I don't have the money for my expenses. And that's the pros of keeping your day job. But like I said, everything has cons, and keeping your day job is no different. So let's get into some of the negative reasons why most people would say you have to quit your day job and go all in with your business. The easiest one to speak on is by quitting your day job, it gives you so much more time to focus on your main business. And if you watch some of my other videos that I have on the channel, you would see that I see time is more valuable than money, because it's the one thing that you can't buy back. In most day jobs, if you have a full-time job, you work 8 hours in a day, and 8 hours in a day, for a lot of people who do the math, basically you have to sleep, you have to eat, you have to spend time with people you care about and stuff like that. And that all accounts for your day. And of course, they say from your 9 to 5 to your 6 to 3, after work hours. And yeah, you could do it that way. But if you just left that day job, then you would just be able to focus on the business solely, and that could be the reason the business take off. And you have to keep that in the back of your mind. By keeping this day job, I'm giving them 8 hours of my day when I could be giving 8 hours to my business. Another con that I noticed with keeping your day job when trying to do your business is the reputation of your business versus your actual day job. So some companies, depending on your level of work and what you do for a living and the reputation you have to uphold for the job that you have, can affect your business, or your business can affect your job. For example, if you're an influencer and you talk about certain controversial topics, it's very easy for your job to find you because you're trying to become noticed, and your job see the kind of content you're making and don't really approve of it. So it's like either you keep the job or you continue making the content. So it's one of those conflict of interest things. That's the easiest example to give, but there are a lot of other things that you can do that it could be like, wait, that's very close to the business we're trying to run here, and you're running another business that's kind of competing with the one you're working for. So you're almost taking the knowledge you're learning here to apply it over here. In a plain and simple negative to keeping your day job while trying to run your business is just exhausting. It's hard, it's mentally draining. You get home and you don't really want to do anything. So if you were asking me, and this is not financial advice, but just my opinion, I would say keep your day job and don't quit whenever you're starting your business, because it does give you a peace of mind. It does give you that validation that, okay, I can take a lot of risk within the business because I do make money here. And if the business doesn't work out, this can keep me afloat. Will it be mentally draining? Absolutely. But if you can get through that season in life, I think you'll end up on the other side exactly where you want to be. And with that being said, I'll see y'all on the next one.